Hi everybody. I told you that at some point I would tell you the story about Ed Pulaski. In 1910, much of the West was on fire, and it's called the 1910 fires. So you've probably heard of that. Ed Pulaski was a forest ranger over by Wallace, Idaho, and he had been given 45 pretty well untrained men to fight fire with there. And during the firefight, Ed realized they were going to get overrun. So he forced all 45 men into a mine shaft. Now, mine shafts are usually vented. So even though they were in a mine shaft in the mountain, it was still extremely hot. And the smoke was really bad. It was bad enough, in fact, that the men began to panic and try to make a run for the door. And in fact, it was bad enough that 5 of them actually did die in there. But Ed stood in the doorway with his .38 and threatened to shoot anyone that left or tried to leave. And it's believed that he would. That's called leadership. But anyway, we use a tool that it's called a Pulaski in honor of him. It's an axe on one side and a grubbing hoe on the other. If you ever pick one of those up, remember Ed and that great story that happened in 1910 where Ed was able to save 40 of his 45 men by his leadership. Now it says in Psalms 91, I'm going to read you something here. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. In Psalms 46 it says, the Lord is my refuge. Now, when we think of a refuge, we think of a place where ducks and geese spend the winter. Really nice. They're safe, tranquil, beautiful sunrises and sunsets, geese and ducks coming and going all day long, no threat. But I think we'd all agree that what Ed found on that mountainside was a refuge. So I think sometimes in life, the place where we hide is God. And it might not seem tranquil. It might get pretty hot at times, but it's the only way to survive. Thanks for listening.